Hello and welcome to Saturday. Here we are on the weekend, and we get to connect once again with our friend Hosea, who's getting to play the part of God for all of certainly the southern kingdom, Judah, but by extension, to some extent, for the northern kingdom, Israel, especially those who have sought refuge in the south. And he is living out a story. He is telling the story of Yahweh and Israel. And only it's playing out in the persons of Hosea and Gomer. And then we find some children come on the scene. The firstborn son, Yetzireel, or Jezreel, God shall sow, and then Lo Ruhamah. That one means not loved. How would you like to have the name of a child not loved, and then Lo Ami, not my people? Now, they're all Hebrew speakers, and so every time you call your children in, you're saying, God shall sow, not loved, and not my people. How would you like to hear that little bit of a drama every day when supper time is called and the children have to come to the table for a meal? The neighbors are constantly hearing that, and wouldn't you think, what a strange name to lay on your child? Lo Ruhamah, not loved, and Lo Ami, not my people. Now, as we move forward in the story, we get to connect then with Hosea, and the Lord begins to reveal some of the detail of what's going on here, and begins to be basically a complaint, a very detailed story behind the story of what's been going on historically. This is being revealed by God in the life of Hosea and through the speech of Hosea as he shares this story, lives it out physically, and then speaks it audibly to the people of the kingdom of Israel, or the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom. And he begins to pour out the complaint of the Lord. What I'm looking for, the indictment, that's the word I'm looking for. The indictment of the Lord against the people of Israel. Now, as the focus is on Gomer and the children, remember the firstborn child is one belonging to Hosea. The next two, a daughter and a son, are not his children, and they're called Lo Ruhamah and Lo Ami. Remember, the word Lo in Hebrew, Lo, is no. Just a couple letters off in the English. Lo versus no. It's interesting. Lo means no in Hebrew. Lo means it in Spanish, and lo means the opposite of hi in English. So their mother, he goes on to say, their mother has been unfaithful and has conceived them in disgrace. Who's them? Lo Ruhamah and Lo Ami, the daughter and the son. She said, I will go after my lovers, who give me my food and my water, my wool and my linen, my olive oil and my drink. My food and my water, my wool and my linen, my olive oil and my drink. Now, something I want to observe here is these are products of the land that require industry and effort to either plant, take care of and then harvest, or shear and then work on a weaver's loom, or requires harvesting and then pressing and grinding and cultivating and then pressing in order to bring them about. So this is a finished product or a gathered product from the land that requires some human industry to make it happen. It takes some industry. So there seems to be a laziness. Think about that. There is a laziness in Gomer. In other words, I have a choice. Prove myself industrious on my own and submit myself to some disciplines, or I can play the part of the wife to a man, just a short part for a couple minutes here and there, and then as a result of humbling myself like this and humiliating myself like this and creating this confusion within myself, I end up getting some finished goods and some valuable goods that otherwise would require my industry and some long-term effort to make it happen. There's a deep and long investment. So this is kind of hidden in this passage, but I just wanted to draw that out to our attention, that she was actually choosing to thwart the process, not go through the process, but instead, out of laziness, find a shortcut to getting these finished goods where it only cost her, she thought, 10 or 15 minutes of her time per lover. And so what was she, quote unquote, working for? She was taking the easy way out. She was selling her body for these finished goods, when this was something that is provided by the land and requires a cooperation with the land and some industry and some patience and some diligence to see through to the end. So I want us to notice that, and then notice this before we finish today. So what's the response of God? This is actually a response of caring for somebody. How do you deal with somebody who is trying to take the shortcut and trying to get around the discipline required to come through a process and to be finished out and improved and refined? You have to block their path. You have to, and here's what he says he does, and he does that in great mercy. Therefore, I will block her path with thorn bushes. I will wall her in so that she cannot find her way. I'm basically going to make it impossible for her to keep doing this. She will chase after her lovers. Why? Because with just a little bit of the humiliation of herself, she gets to leverage that into a windfall and avoid the discipline and the process. She will chase after her lovers but not catch them. She will look for them but not find them. And so, what is the merciful thing that the Lord does? He blocks the path, He frustrates her on the way, and no matter, even if she's looking for them, she'll not be able to find them. So what the Lord does is He works in such a way for those that He loves. Those that the Lord loves, He rebukes and He chastens. And so He will block their path. So here's what we can come away from today with a meditation. Am I trying to shortcut? A person who needs to turn or return to the Lord is a person who needs to stop shortcutting the divine processes, needs to stop shortcutting what God is trying to do in their life, and shortcutting going from the raw material to the finished product. And instead of taking the easy way out, the lazy way out, that they actually submit themselves to the process of God so that they can come through to the finished product and be diligent and be trained and taught and come into wisdom along the way. Because God loves us, what does He do? He blocks our paths and walls us in. So on the first hand, what am I doing that might be trying to shortcut the process of God or go around that and try to score big with very little effort? And secondly, what God might be doing, what is God maybe doing in my life that actually feels like thorn bushes and feels like I'm banging my head into a wall? He may be sequestering you and me away from the things that catch our attention and draw us away from Him, and giving us an opportunity to find some desperation and to wake up, much like the prodigal. And instead of chasing after lovers and running after the easy way out, that something will happen and there could be a turnaround. So think about that. Meditate on those two things today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.